has from Ducks Digest.
Alex, one of the things that Coach Mirabal was talking to us about is just how much different this spring looks, seeing that you guys have so many of those early enrollees, being able to both bolster the depth. How do you think that has helped your guys' group, and what are you maybe seeing from some of the young guys?
Yeah, I think it's always really good to have a lot of bodies in spring ball, especially at the O line, and those guys are doing really well. I think especially the guys that came in a little bit earlier during the winter time. They really attacked the playbook, and that's the one thing that all the older guys told them is the quickest way on the field is knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. So it starts with the playbook, and I think they've all really attacked that and taken pride and ownership in knowing and trying to master the playbook. That's hard to do. They're really should be seniors in high school, so you got to kind of still keep that in mind that they're learning a college offense and stuff's getting thrown at them left and right, especially with school and stuff too. That's a lot, but all of them are handling it really well, and I think having a lot of depth is great because you can try guys at new positions. You can move guys around, and spring is really a time where you get to see guys if they improved a lot from the past season. And I think that's really important.
Ryan Thorburn, Register Guard.
Alex, with all the starters back from last season, do you feel like you guys are now kind of an experienced unit, a veteran unit, or because it was kind of a wonky season and a short sample size, do you feel like you guys are still kind of new to this whole thing?
I think the best way is probably calling us experienced. I don't think we've earned the veteran tag yet. I think you gotta play quite a few more games and perform really well in those games to be considered a veteran unit. But I'd say we're definitely experienced. We got to see a lot of stuff last year. We're grateful to play in a Pac-12 championship game and a New Year's Six game. So that was really good experience for all of us. Played some really talented defensive linemen. Front seven. So, I think we grew a lot last year. We certainly learned a lot. So we just got to carry that over to, this spring and fall camp and all the way in and through the season.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Another one of the things that Coach Mirabal was talking about was how difficult it was to kind of like simulate plays with your hands in practice, do certain things. How much of that is different this spring, and how much could that help you guys as a group just get better from a technical and fundamental perspective?
Oh, it's definitely a lot better. I think when he was talking about that, he was talking about striking the med balls, correct? Yeah. So he, that it was kind of hard with all the protocol stuff in the summer. You really have to, make do with what you got, and we couldn't really strike anybody and do stuff with that. And obviously that's critical to offensive line play, as everybody knows. So definitely it was tough. So you really had to simulate that in different ways, just kind of go on air. But obviously that's air doesn't hit back. So, and D linemen definitely hit back. So that's a big thing. And, this spring it's pretty much, it's normal right now with what we're doing. It's just a normal spring. So we're getting a lot more reps at the, inside run with the D lineman. I think that's really, really helping us as an O-line and a D line.
James Crapia, the Oregonian.
Kind of following with that, Alex. It was a tough year from a run blocking standpoint and production standpoint, and Coach had mentioned that as well. So just how much of that is an emphasis this whole off season, but starting in the spring about that. And you talk about like, hey, part of it is it's hard to accomplish what you want on Saturdays if you're not doing it all week, and you were limited in that way. So how much of that has just been an emphasis starting this spring?
Yeah, definitely. That's been an emphasis since I got here is, got to establish the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. So with our offensive line and our defensive line, and it's good that we're doing a lot of, run blocking stuff with the D line, a lot of team periods where they know it's run, we know it's run, so let's just get after it. And that's definitely hard for the O-line because they know it's run, so they don't have to think if it's if they're going to pass rush or whatever their thought process is. But it gets us better because it's the hardest thing we have to do is when they know it's a run and they give us a loaded box, and we gotta go block that and execute it to the best of our ability. So I think it's definitely the run game wasn't where we wanted it last year. And we take full ownership, and we take pride in the run game, and we take full ownership of the lack of production. And we know we got to be better, and we will be better.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Alex, I know you said that you can't call yourself a vet yet, but what's it like a second year in the system still? Are you seeing, things come quicker? And I guess where do you expect to see, marked improvements the second year in to the offense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, last year was just a really 5 new starters. That's tough to, come in and, strive to perform at the same level that the guys before us, the really great and elite offensive lines, or one of the greatest and most elite offensive lines in college football in 2019. And so trying to follow that up and set the standard and keep striving for that standard was it was tough. It was tough, especially with a bunch of new guys, and you had a modified fall camp. But we don't like to make excuses here, so we didn't get it done. And I think there's so much to improve on. But I think one thing we all learned is we learned that you got to play together. And we always say 5 men, 1 mind. You got to be on the same page. Whether I'm making the call, the tackle's got to know why is he making that call versus what front. They got to know. Everybody's got to know the holistic picture of everything if we want to be five minds as one. So I think that's a big thing that we're trying to emphasize this spring is just 5 guys got to play as one, and that's where we're most powerful.
Tyson Alger, The Athletic.
What's George Moore like to be around, and just like what sort of perspective does a guy that's in his 7th year of playing college football lend to a locker room that brought in like 4 freshmen this year in this class? Just what sort of experience does that lend to you guys? Yeah,
George. First of all, George is probably the funniest person I've ever met. He's one of my guys on the team, and he's a veteran. He's been here. He likes to say he's only been here, or he's only played college football for 6, but I always tell him it's 7. So I don't let him have any leeway on that. So he never hears the end of it from me. But he's been here the same amount of time as I have, but he played the years in junior college too. So he's been through it. He's seen a lot of stuff. He's like a super veteran. So he's really good with helping the young guys. I think we all trying to, take the guys under our wing. And, we were at that point like once too, I don't think none of us enrolled early, but we were freshmen once too. And, there's a lot flying at you. And when you got to come in and, start with winter workouts, and those are tough, and you got to balance a full class load. That's really tough. So there's a lot of stuff flying at you. And so he's been really good about, helping the young guys, whether it be the young offensive tackles or young center guards, whatever it is. He's been really good about that. And he's always been a guy that, you can look up to and, ask for help on stuff.
Last question for Alex goes to Max.
Alex, one of the topics that we've kind of been learning about this week is KT's new role. As an offensive lineman, you may not be going up against him as much since he's kind of on the outside, but how has, the approach maybe changed to blocking him or what you're seeing from him in practice?
Yeah, we first of all, he's obviously an elite football player, so the change of position for him is like nothing. He's going to be great at whatever he does, whatever position they put him at. So we don't block him any different. You always he's got a lot more speed on the edge than a lot of people. So that's one thing you really got to take into account. Like you said, I haven't blocked him a whole lot. But we've all seen what he can do to other offensive lines. He can completely change a game. So I think, him playing that new position allows him to, just play free and play fast and play all over the field. But yeah, so we don't change a whole lot of what we do in order to block him. But that doesn't mean he's any easier for everybody to block.
All right, Alex, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank y'all.
Good rest of the day.
You too.